The Happy Afloat podcast, tales of family adventures at sea.
Hello and welcome aboard. Boys, shuffle up, make some room. Now, sit down and make yourself at home. I am Jason, skipper of Happy Afloat. Meet my crew. Leon.
Hello.
Conrad.
Ahoy there, shipmates.
And my lovely wife, Sarah.
Hello. We are going on an adventure.
And we have a plan.
A very loose plan.
To sail the UK waters for a couple of months.
Join us and find out what adventures we have along the way.
Where we go.
And where we end up.
Leaving.
After over a year in various lockdowns.
And a month in a boatyard.
And another week afloat preparing the boat.
We were keen to finally get going.
My parents waved us off from the pontoon.
Away!
You have a lovely time. You have a great time.
Okay,
Enjoy yourselves, guys.
see you.
So wish I was with you.
Yeah, they had to send off. It's very exciting.
We wouldn't be seeing them again for a few months.
Starting the engine. Water coming up, boys.
Yes,
Are you ready for the summer adventure?
we are a happy crew on a happy boat. We are Happy Afloat.
All right, Sarah. Let me know when it's clear.
Clear. They won't be seeing us in this place for 3 months.
And we're off.
Sailing to the great beyond. I love the boat. We kept on sailing until they were only specks of dust in the distance.
My thinking is, which marina are we going to be at the next time we need fenders?
The wind was perfect for sailing.
It was time to test our new prop under sail.
Leon, can you write in the logbook that the engine has gone off, please? Wow. We're going fast.
8 knots of wind.
Yeah, that's what I mean. We're going.
Is that true? Apparently not.
That's true. The apparent wind's 12. Right, we are racing.
See, all that hard work with the anti-fouling has paid off.
Yeah.
And more importantly, spending 1,700 quid on the property.
Clever. 5 chocolate buttons for the first person who spots a porpoise or a dolphin on the whole trip.
How many chocolate buns?
5.
Do we even have chocolate bubbles?
Porpoise!
Where?
Oh, but it has to be verified.
From behind that rock.
What rock? There's no rocks along here.
Don't we want different prizes for different animals? Like who sees the first whale, who sees the first orca, who sees the
Well, we
first
can worry
puffin.
about them when we're a bit further north.
The puffins are hilarious, you know, how they seem to trip over in water then go splosh.
They are so funny.
Because they,
We sailed to our favourite local anchorage.
Would that be Stangate or Sharfleet Creek?
Starfleet.
For days we had visions of a barbecue anchor. Well, I did.
But it had become too windy.
So the barbecue would have to wait for another day.
Aww.
It was great to be back at anchor again.
We all had a good night's sleep,
Like babies.
waking up every couple of hours for feeding and a nappy change.
No!
Although we wanted to move beyond the Medway River,
And start the adventure.
We didn't. We stayed put the next day.
Chillaxing to get our heads into the right mental state after all the rushing around getting ready for our adventure.
we inflated our newly purchased kayak.
And my big bro showed us how to paddle.
Wait till Mum's ready. You going up, Mum?
Yeah, I'm going to go out. Hold on then.
Are you guys ready?
Right side, okay.
Leon has been learning how to kayak at a local lake.
Where are you going? Left hand or right hand on the boat? Right hand. Other way round hand.
How was that, guys?
That's so much fun!
The next leg was going to revisit old sailing grounds.
The
Walton Backwaters.
Like a last trip to the backwaters, it would involve an early start.
We had a 5 a.m. start and it was mill pond conditions.
The adults were awake and ready to go.
The boys didn't turn up on deck until we were well underway.
Missing the lovely sunrise.
Oh.
Indeed.
Yes, indeed. Oh.
We passed Garrison Point at Sheerness.
And entered into the Thames estuary.
We've finally done it.
What?
After 8 months, we've made it out of the Medway.
Hurrah!
And waiting for us was a South East Force 3.
Perfect for our destination.
Raise the mainsail. Engine off.
It was sunny, warm, and we were soon roaring along at 8 knots.
You're doing 7 knots of boat speed. .1, 7.2. Is it a crack 8? 9, come on.
we know the other one's plus.
Come on. 7.9, could do 8. Oh,
Well, it gave you an 8.
here we go. 7.9.
Zooming along. I think the most we've got. We had a picture of it doing 10.
Yeah, that's with ties. That wasn't actual true knots, was it?
I can't remember. No, well, I don't
That
know.
was-
Whatever that was reading at the
That
time.
wasn't doing boat knots then.
No,
That would have been including tide, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
We
I think
probably
had
had.
about 6 knots of tide.
Yeah, we had our max out on tide.
Plus
No,
eight.
it's 8. We got to 8.
It's amazing what cleaning and scraping your hull in the boatyard for a month will do for your boat speed.
And a new expensive feathering prop.
We were going so fast that we started to doubt the calibration of the speed log.
This was the first time we had used the speed log.
We had thought that it wasn't working previously.
Until we found that the impeller through the hull wasn't actually through the hull.
So, when the boat was out of the water, we popped it back in.
But was it overreading our true speed?
However, after we had overhauled and left a few other boats in our wake,
There was no doubt we had a speed machine.
Well, until the fouling and weeds caught up with our hull.
we have since checked the log calibration and pleased to report that it was spot on.
Life was good and it was smiles all round. As we were sailing heeled over, I checked the bilge.
We have learnt that with our boat, water works its way through the limber holes to the bilge when heeling over.
Then it's just a case of mopping up very little water, usually just condensation, that was pooled elsewhere in the hull over winter.
Our bilges are usually dry after this job for the whole summer season.
While we were out of the water, we measured the depths under offset.
With the shallows of Swin Spitway fast approaching.
We were about to find out if we had calculated it correctly.
What are we crossing?
The Swin Spitway.
Yes, we got it right.
At least that's what I think it's called.
We're a third of the way across, and we've got 0.9 under the keel.
And I'm trying not to look at the
forward.
and I'm trying not to look at the depth sound because I don't like going this shallow.
It's back to 1 metre. Oh, it's gone up.
Oh, relief.
Back down again. Switching between 0.9 and 1. I'm going to stay on watch for this bit.
I'm scarred for life by our sail training thing when we went bang over the spit.
Wait, did you actually hit it?
We did, in a wing keeler.
Right, we're halfway across, and we have got 1 metre.
Oh,
1.1. 1.
It's going up.
1. 1.1.
1.1.
Oh, I think we're safe now. I think we're through this. We're safe for another day.
I'm seeing the speed now.
At around this point, Sarah checked the bilge again.
this time I mopped up a good cup of water. Although it wasn't a lot, it was for our boat.
And there was more water trickling into the bilge area.
Were we slowly sinking?
After all, we had just changed every seacock on the boat.
And put the speed log impeller in.
And filled other holes above.
And below the waterline.
I relieved the bilge of another cup of water and then another. I was panicking that we must definitely be slowly sinking.
We checked all the seacocks. They all looked fine.
I checked the engine, the exhaust hose and the sail drive rubber seals. Nothing obvious.
We checked all the areas of the hull that we could quickly access, but there were no obviously visible leaks.
But was it freshwater or seawater?
Mum tested it.
I was convinced it was seawater.
Dad tested it.
It was oily freshwater with a hint of salt.
So none the wiser thanks to the adults. We need a control for our science test.
We threw a bucket overboard and collected some seawater to compare with our bilge water.
After I sipped on a cup of Chatham finest vintage, it was clear that the contents of the bilge wasn't pure seawater or pure freshwater.
Not much progress then. Thanks, adults.
We tried to convince ourselves that it was just lots and lots of condensation.
But it was now litres of water. We needed to brainstorm to find a more plausible reason for the leak in a hurry.
How was it?
Yeah, it's still like weeping water, sloshing water from the main bit. Do you think it's you know where the sail drive is and like imagine like the ribs sort of thing? If it's between the two layers there and coming through from the back towards the front. So you know like where the engine mounts are and they're like in a moulded bit. Sort of they're raised up and stuff. Where the sail drive is, it's on like a bit of a raised thing.
Because around the sail drive is solid.
It's actually
That's the actual hull.
that's
Holes there.
that's
It's not a hole
okay.
underneath.
That's what I was wondering about. Like if there's, you know,
The holes that are filled just behind it. Not like the holes that are filled just behind where the anode were. There's nothing.
it goes all the way through. Yeah. Okay. I wasn't sure. That was
All the way through.
yeah. That was one thought I'd had. It's nowhere near as salty as that. So
So it could be tons of fresh water from we've been doing the text. That's why we need to check it.
Yeah.
There might be a massive void up there that's filling with water.
yeah. It's definitely more of a diluted salt water.
After ruling out almost everything else, we thought the leak must be coming from the anchor locker.
Leaking out of the bottom of the locker into the boat.
This would account for the mix of fresh and salt water.
As the locker gets exposed to both rain and seawater.
Access to the bottom of the locker would involve pulling apart the forepeak.
So we would have to wait until we had stopped sailing a few hours later.
And were safely anchored in the backwaters.
The rest of the trip was spent worrying how we would fix the anchor locker.
A fiberglass repair would need all the power tools I had literally just taken off the boat only days before.
Would we be heading back home for repairs?
Was the adventure over before it had even got started?
Could we even make a repair while afloat?
Or did we need to call it out again?
But that is a story for another time.
Thank you for sticking us in your ears.
If you have any questions, let us know.
We love feedback.
If you would like to help us grow, spread the word. As my mum says, it's nice to share.
If you know someone who would enjoy the podcast, direct them to our website, happyafloat.com.
From our website, they can listen to the podcast. Sharing is caring.
And don't forget to follow us in your favourite podcast app, happyafloat.com.
Next time aboard Happy Afloat.
Is the summer adventure already over, or has it just got started?
Until next time, happy sailing!